This episode sponsored by Lake Monster Details, producing the Don's Light and Magic Legacy line of parts, offering upgrade parts and decals for accuracy, special effects, and lighting. Visit www.lakemonsterdetails.com and make it glow. Also sponsored by GCals, producing aftermarket replacement decals and custom quality graphics for your favorite spaceships. Visit www.gcals.company.site and add some personalization to your sci-fi models today.
Hey guys, Will here. Welcome back to Magnifying Glasses Show. This is episode 5 of the 1/1400 scale Enterprise C build. And today, before we start talking about the model, I do want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, if you take a look at that opening monologue there, I formed a partnership with John over at Models for Troops. Models for Troops is a 501c3 charity which provides model kits, modeling supplies to soldiers that are overseas and also soldiers and vets back here at home. In the VA hospitals and also those that are retired from the military. So please check them out. I'm trying to help promote that charity. Basically, I was looking for something to do worthwhile with these models I'm building. So on top of that, I will be auctioning off some of the models that I have built on my series here. First of all, starting off with the 1350 original series model I built earlier this year. Now, I've got to work out some things with it as far as the logistics of getting it auctioned off and then getting it shipped to whoever decides to buy it. But so it'll be after the first year before I get that worked out, but I will be looking to do that. In the meantime, if you guys would check out that website, their website is www.modelsfortroops.com. Check them out. If you've got any unused models that you're not going to build or that you've lost interest in maybe, or any model supplies that maybe you could spare, please check out the website. I say check out the website because there are certain restrictions on things due to the VA hospitals have limitations on certain things that they can get, such as I think all the paints have to be acrylic and the glues also have to be CA type or I think they can use certain testers, glues too. So check out the website and read up on it. And if you've got something you can help them out with, please send that off to John. You can contact them too at modelsfortroops@gmail.com. And I'll put those links in the notes below, so please check them out. If you can help them out, do that. And I will update later on when I kind of decide and work out the logistics of auctioning off that model and let y'all know. And all the proceeds for auctioning off that model, every cent of it will go to Models for Troops. I won't keep any of it. I'll even the shipping, all that stuff, everything it cost me, any money I make off of that auction will go to Models for Troops. So trying to help them out. I'm very honored that John is allowing me to partner with him, and I'm very proud of our service members. So thank you for serving our country, and thank you guys for watching. And if you can, like I said, help out any way you can. Also to note, I know I've got subscribers from other countries. I don't know every country. Whether or not they've got a charity like this. I do know the UK has a similar charity, which is called Models for Heroes, and you can check them out at www.modelsforheroes.com if you're in the UK. I believe Australia may have something similar, but I haven't come across a website for it. So any other countries that are here, please check out. If you've got other charities like that for your country, help them out. Send them something if you can. To that note, I'm also doing a promotion. I'm doing a giveaway. And I'm going to talk about these a little bit in the video here in a minute. But I'm going to be giving away a set of these magnifying goggles or glasses. If these are eyeglasses, and it's got an LED. I've got mine right here that I use. It's got a couple different lenses that you can wear. They just pop in and out. It's also got a light on the front here to help kind of light up whatever you're trying to work on. And they come in really handy, especially working on these smaller scale models. So I will be giving these away. If you want these, if you want a chance of winning these, just leave a comment below. I'm interested in knowing where all my subscribers are, so please leave a comment below. Just say where you're from, what country you're from, and that'll be good enough. And I'm going to give it probably till after Christmas, to do that. And I will use a random comment picker. So please make sure you leave your comment in the YouTube comments, not on Facebook or any of that. Do it in the YouTube comments on this video. I will do a random comment picker, and it'll pick a winner, and I will send these off. Even if you're in the UK, I'll ship these to you. So if you're interested in that, please leave a comment below. Just tell me what country you're from. I'm interested in knowing where everybody's from. So that being said, let's talk about the build. So this is where I'm at right now. And no, this is not where we left off. This is where I'm at right now. And we will be trying to figure out where to put this so it looks right. But this is where we'll be at the end of this video. So I'm going to show you how I got here. I did use Lou's Aztec Gummy Paint Masks for this, and they worked great. A couple little differences I made to it as far as the colors that are recommended in it. We'll talk about that in the video. But other than that, they're great masks. So definitely check them out if you're looking to do this model. Obviously, you can tape it off yourself if you want, but I just thought it was much easier to use Lou's masks. And so, at any rate, give me a minute. I will put you on the bench. We'll get to work. All right, guys. So this is where we're at on the saucer section. No, it's not battle damage that I'm working on there. What I found out was I had mentioned that the saucer section was pretty accurate as far as a representation of the studio model, but I realized there is one modification that needs to be made. So you'll see, let me grab my pointer real quick. You'll see these three areas where I've puttied. Well, they've got windows molded into this, and I drilled them out before I realized that they aren't supposed to be there. So basically you've got that darker blue section that comes down and it drops down below the phaser bank, comes around, comes back up. It kind of notches around these phaser banks. So in each of these sections, that dark blue line is going to be right down this panel line right here. And let me see if I can bring this in closer. Focus a little bit. So your dark blue line is going to come right down this panel line here where these windows are. Same thing with these ones and the ones over here. Well, I went back and I noticed, first of all, I noticed that one window was like really close to in the skate pod. And I'm like, it doesn't look right. So I went back and looked at the studio model pictures, and sure enough, these windows should not be here. That dark blue is going to come down right here, and there should not be any windows in the dark blue section. So you're going to want to fill these in if you want to be accurate, or try to, we're trying to be as accurate as possible to the studio model, at least I am. Not 100%, but trying to cut out some things like this that just don't look right. So there shouldn't be any windows in that dark blue section, so we've got to fill these windows in now that I've already drilled them out. And you got to do that in all three areas. I've already done one application. This is my second application. Because the problem I'm having is that the windows that butt up right next to these escape pods, and I think one of the windows up here as well, sit right on this panel line. And once I applied the putty the first time, it came back, sanded, and then tried to rescribe this line. Well, this caved in where this window is here. So what I had to do was come back and backfill this with some UV resin in each of these areas. So came in, backfilled that with UV resin to give that some support, came back in, now I've applied putty again and I'm letting it dry. And we'll come back in and sand it and then try to rescribe those lines again. So that's what you see going on here. So that is the only modification I've found so far, and it's only on those three spots. No issue over here at all. So got that I'm working on, and I figured that while I'm working on the second or the saucer here, I'd talk about some tools you're going to want
if you're going to do this same thing with your saucer section. And the first thing that comes in handy, which I've already mentioned, is these goggles, these glasses, I guess you should say, these magnifying glasses. And they just go over your head, and you see where your nose is going to be, and you just look through these, and it helps you see where the windows are, so that way you can make sure that your drill bits are getting lined up properly. It just makes it a lot easier to see this little detail that you're going to have on here. Plus to it is it's got this light on it, which provides even more light to your work area so you can see exactly what you're working on. So I really like this. It's coming really handy. These weren't very expensive. They were on Amazon.com, I think is where I got them from. And they've really, really been useful. These are called Magnipros. I don't have it zoomed in there, but you can see what it says, Magnipros on it. So I highly recommend a set, something like this. Any type of magnifying glasses that you can wear would greatly help being able to see what you're doing on this small of a scale of a model. So I recommend that. And then after that, obviously you're going to need something to drill with. So the old classic is using a pin vise. And it's got all the different parts you need in order to use all the different size drill bits. And what I've got chucked in here right now is a 0.8 millimeter bit. Now I was using the 120, I think it's 1/32 drill bits, and I even ordered a whole other pack of them. But when I got to working in this, I found out that a 0.8 is just a hair, not even a hair, probably smaller than the 1/32 drill bit. So I got a pack of those that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. But you definitely want a pin vise. The only thing with the pin vise is if you've got arthritis or any other problems with your hands, maybe a little difficult to work with the pin vise. There's a lot of drilling. Now, the technique I've kind of come down with is using the pin vise minimally, and I'll talk about the actual technique here in a minute. But minimal use of the pin vise, mainly what I use, excuse me, dropping stuff. Mainly what I use to drill with is my Dremel here. I think it's a Dremel Neo or Nano or something like that. But this is really, really saves your hands and your wrists and that from having to do a lot of drilling. It has your different speeds on it. I keep it on the lowest setting, which I believe is 1. Yeah, 1's the lowest setting. And it's real handy. It's fits in your hand real good. You've got this grip up here. Your power button's right here, so you can turn it on and off real easy. But this has come in really handy with drilling. This also has a 0.8 millimeter drill bit in it. And it comes in real handy. It saves your wrists, and it's just good to have one of these. It makes it a lot quicker, too, as far as drilling all the holes. So outside of that, you're also going to need a good hobby knife. You're going to want one with the fine point blades. You don't want the larger blades. I don't know the different numbers off the top of my head. I think this is it says 11 on it. So, but you're definitely going to want a decent hobby knife so you can get into these small windows and do some trimming if you need to. And along with that, I would recommend getting I think this was a 10-pack of Exacto Blades because you're going to go through these blades. You're going to break the tips off, and they're going to get dull after a while, and you really want a sharp blade when you're working on these. So I recommend picking up a pack of these. In addition to that, going back to drill bits, I had mentioned that I had bought these additional drill bits off Amazon. These are the 1/32 drill bits, but they have these at Harbor Freight. Now, I've had these before, and didn't have really good luck with these. They broke really easily, and you only get 2 of each size in these packs. So once you break both of them, you're pretty much out of luck as far as that size. But what I did see at Harbor Freight as well were these high-speed steel micro drill bits. And they come in sizes from 3 millimeter all the way down to a 0.5 millimeter. So basically what I've settled on is what I would recommend. The 0.8 millimeters are really good for the windows on the top of the saucer itself. That's pretty much what I started using. I did do the first, I think, 2 rings here with the 1/32, and then I switched up to the 0.8 millimeter drill bit after that, and they worked out really well. I think I've broken one of these and two of the other, or one of these drill bits. So I've broken one of these and one of these for a total of 2 drill bits so far, and I've got most of this done. So not doing too bad, but I recommend the 0.8 millimeter for the top of the saucer. But on the BC deck and the bridge, you've got really smaller windows. So I recommend dropping down the size on that. So that would be the 0.6 millimeter drill bits. So instead of going to Harbor Freight, if I did this again, instead of going to Harbor Freight and buying these, because it only comes with, I think, comes with 5 of each, 5 of the 0.8, 5 of the 0.6, as far as the ones I'm using. But I think what I would do is go on Amazon and just order like 12 packs of the 0.6 and 12 pack of the 0.8, and just have a bunch of those, because you're going to go through drill bits too. You're going to break them, and it's just good to have as many. Oh, excuse me. It's just good to have as many of those as possible when you're working on this. So get a pack of drill bits, get a pack of Exacto Blades, because you're going to need them. All right. And then other than that, the only other thing I've got that I've been using is a set of Microfiles. And these are the 2 main ones I've been using, but this thing comes with a whole bunch of different types of files, and they're really small. Don't know if I'd recommend this set itself, because the tip broke off of this pointed one, and I wasn't even hardly doing anything with it. It just broke right off. So I might look into a different set of Microfiles after I'm done with this model, but definitely look for a set of Microfiles, something really small that you can get in these windows, and do some filing if you need to on them. So, but anyway, that's pretty much what I recommend as far as tools. So, as far as technique, what's worked for me getting these windows drilled is the first thing I do is put on my trusty work glasses here, magnifying glasses, and turn on the light. Gives me a little extra light here, and I'll try not to block the camera when I do this. But the first thing I do is get my Dremel. And you can see all these windows I've already drilled all the way around. I'll drill several of these out at a time. But basically I'll come in and I'll find the top edge of the window that I'm working on. And I'll put the bit there, and I'll turn this on, drill my hole, pull it out, and then turn it off. And then I'll find the bottom of that same window, turn it on, drill the hole, and then turn it off. I don't want to keep this running because the problem you run into is if you put this in there and then you don't pull it out and then turn it off, if you keep trying to push it in, eventually you're going to end up with what I started having a problem with, which there's a window or 2 on this row here where I was trying to do just using the Dremel, and I ended up rounding them out a little bit or making them too large. I'm going to have to come back. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to come back with some putty and try to make those a little smaller. I don't know if you can make that one out there, but that one there is kind of huge. So that's why I don't recommend just using the Dremel. Now, I know some people can do it. Some people can take this Dremel and they can just pop windows out going all the way around. But personally, myself, I'm not very good at it. So I drill the 2 pilot holes first. And after I get that pilot hole drilled, that's when I come in with my hobby knife. And you've got this little bit of material. Let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit. Zoom in. And let's see if I need to focus a little bit here. There we go. All right. So, I don't know if you can make it out on the camera. Maybe if I put a little more light on it. But there's a little bit of material in here. And I'm just going to take my knife, my hobby knife, with the point of it. And I'm just going to cut that little bit of material in the middle there. Not too much, because you don't want to round the window out. And now I'm just doing this one window. It's a lot quicker, I found, to do multiple windows, drilling the pilot holes and then coming back with the knife and doing multiple windows and then coming back with the drill bit on my pin vise. And basically what I do then is I come back with my pin vise and a little bit of an angle. I'll just kind of chip away that little bit of middle that's left there where I cut at. And I'll just kind of work my drill bit in there a little bit. And yes, you can break drill bits like this, so just be careful Don't be too much of a hurry with it. Just work it in and out a little bit. That's the best way I've found to keep these windows consistent as far as the width, is just use the same size drill bit that you drilled the window with in the first place. So, and that's pretty much it. You can see the window right there that I just drilled. So it turned out pretty well doing that way, I found, and that's pretty much how I do all the windows. So that's the way I do it. I know people have different ways of doing the windows, but that's what's working for me right now, so that's the way I'm going to do them. So at any rate, hopefully that gives a little insight to everybody that maybe hasn't drilled windows before. But anyway, I'm going to continue to work on these. I'm going to get, as soon as this putty dries, I'm going to get that sanded. And we'll get all these windows. I'll get the rest of these windows done. So when we come back, we should hopefully be done with the windows and be ready to start looking at painting this thing. So give me a little bit and we'll be back. All right, guys. So here it is. I got it all the windows finally drilled out and everything done. I came back and did a little touch-up work where some of these windows got a little rounded out, a little bit too big, and filled in those other windows that aren't supposed to be where they're at. And then to kind of even it back out, I drilled a window on this side. There's supposed to be windows over here anyway on this panel next to where this other blue line is going to be. So I drilled an extra window in those 3 locations just to even it out. And now we're about ready to start doing some painting. I came back over this with some 800 grit sandpaper and just to rough it up a little bit and kind of even it out and remove some of this flashing. There's a little, when you do this drilling, you're going to have a little bit of plastic flashing from where you drilled it. So come back over this with 800 grit sandpaper. I don't want to come over it with anything too heavy. And then on the inside, I came over this with 100 grit sandpaper. This is where most of the flashing's at. And if that doesn't remove it all, you just come in with your hobby knife and just kind of remove any excess flashing. I got a little bit right here still. Because you don't want to leave that flashing in there, because what will happen is you'll think your windows are nice and cleared out, and you go and seal up the saucer, and the next thing you know, you go and plug in your lights and you've got a couple of half-lit windows because while you're working on this, you push the flashing back into the window and it's filled the window back in some. So just come back here and on the back side and just look and see if you see any more flash, and if you do, just come in with your hobby knife like I'm doing here and just kind of cut it off and get it out of there. That way you don't have to worry about that. But for the most part, it looks like it's pretty good. So what I'm going to do now, well, before I get into that, one other thing you got to do to this, if you're going to light this, those locator pins are actually going to be in the way of where your nav lights need to go. So you're going to have to remove those locator pin holes. So that's what I did. I came in with my Dremel, removed all 3 of those. And then I came on top and just kind of flattened these bulbs where these bulbs are supposed to be at. Flatten them out a little bit so that way I can come in with my drill and not have it sliding off. I'll come in with a really small drill bit, probably the one I've already got on here, which I think is 130. This is either 1/32 or a 0.8. I lost track of which bit this was because I kind of had 2 or 3 sitting to the side. And I don't know what that is, but that'll work. So I'm going to use that and at least drill a pilot hole, and then we'll see if I need to make it any bigger. I'm probably going to use SMDs here, but I'm going to see if the SMD looks small enough to be in scale. If not, I'll use some fiber optic to make it small, and then I'll just use an LED, and I'll run the fiber optic from the LED to the holes I drill. These are all steady on, so you don't have to worry about the flasher board for that. The one in the front, I think you've got your red and green on the sides, and the one in the front I believe is a white. So I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's what that's supposed to be, is a white in the front. But they're all steady on, so we'll get those installed. But right now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this and I'm going to do my light blocking. I'll show you what the primer is I'm using when I come back after I do it. But I'm going to prime this with a black, put a couple coats on it, at least 2 or 3. And then I'm going to come over it with a gloss white to help kind of bounce the light around inside, just like I did with the NX01 build I did. So give me a little bit. I'm going to go do that, and then we'll come back and we'll take a look. All right, guys. So I got this all painted up or primed and ready to go. I on the inside here, I did my light blocking. And what I use is I use this Rust-Oleum primer. It's a sandable primer. I've always had good luck with this. I haven't had any problems with it. And if I have any problems, I can easily sand it. So that's why I like to use this. It covers pretty well, it dries fast, and it's, like I said, it's sandable if I need to sand anything off. So that's what I use to do all my light blocking. And then you can see how reflective this is. This is a Krylon Color Max Paint Plus Primer. It's a gloss white. You can use any gloss white. I don't use just this brand. It just so happens that this is what was in the store, and I grabbed it. So, but any gloss white will work. Some people do silver, but I prefer to do white. I think it just does a better job of reflecting the light and keeping the color from being a little off. So anyway, that's the way I do my light blocking. I do the black. Matter of fact, on this one, I think I did almost four coats of black. And then I come back over with just a single coat of white. You don't really have to put a bunch of layers on here. You can see it's already pretty nice and reflective. So we'll do the bottom of the saucer the same way, and you're going to get a lot of light bouncing around in there. So that's plenty, just one coat, and we're good there. So that's all light blocked on the inside and ready to go. And then on the outside, just to assist with a little more light blocking, I used my gray Tamiya Fine Surface Primer. And this stuff I never had a problem with it, and with stuff on the outside. As far as paint, peel or that, using this, which is why I usually prefer to use this. So at any rate, that's what I used for the outside, and it's all ready to go. I did want to say, though, I did have a question come up on Facebook today asking why I drilled out all the windows. And the answer to that is, the reason why I do all the windows is because I want them to be consistent in their appearance. If I only drilled out the ones that I wanted light to shine through, and then I came back and I masked the ones I didn't want light to shine through, just keep in mind, drilling, there's a lot of windows to drill on here. So there's no way I can drill all these windows consistently the same, the same exact size, and sometimes even the same shape. So, the masks, on the other hand, I can put them down. I can have the windows the exact same size, the exact same shape, no problem. So my concern there was, if I did half just masking and half just drilled, you're going to tell an obvious difference between the windows that were masked and done that way and the windows that were drilled and done that way. So to keep it consistent, I decided just go ahead and drill them all out. And if you look back at Boyd's build from about 9 years ago, I think he did this model, and I think he did it the same way. He pretty much drilled all the windows out, I believe. So but anyway, that's my thinking on that. That's why I did all the windows. The other question was, are all the windows going to be lit? They're not. The first part of window pane is drilling them out. The second part of the window pane is I'm going to come back with, you can use either the UV resin, or I think what I'm going to do here is use the micro crystal clear. The reason being that the micro crystal clear, while it's opaque, is white. So it's easy for me to keep track of where I've done the windows, because initially it'll be white, and then when it dries it'll be nice and clear. But what I'll do is I'll fill all these windows in. I'm going to do the painting first, because that way I don't have to worry about masking the windows off. I can paint this whole thing, get that good to go, come back and fill in my windows with the microcrystal clear. That stuff will not hurt your paint. So you can put it in the window, you can wipe a little off if you need to, and it's not going to hurt your paint at all. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that, put the microcrystal clear in. Once the microcrystal clear is done, the way I will simulate the blacked out windows is I will flip this over to the inside and figure out which windows I want blacked out, and I will backfill these windows with my tulip. And that's going to do a nice, good black out on all these windows, or well, all the windows that I want blacked out. And on the outside, they're all going to look the same, except when it's lit. So I think that's going to have a nice appearance to it. That's the way we're going to try it, and we'll see how it goes. So at any rate, that's my plan for that.
And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go out here. The first step we have to do, I got Lou's masks here in his directions. The first thing I need to do is I need to put the darker blue, which is my Folk Art Blue Bell. That's my darker blue. I need to take that and I need to put it around the areas where the dark blue needs to be, which is pretty much this area here, and then this pinstripe around the BC deck is also going to be the darker blue. So I need to make sure I get those nice and covered. And the other thing I want to mention too is there are a couple windows on here. Let's see if I can get this in without having any issues with focus. These are meant to be windows, but because of the panel line and that, they look like just one square block just about. And I didn't really want to drill the windows that close together. These look pretty close. And if I did drill the windows there, I'm still going to have, it's just not going to look right to me, because you're not going to have anything between the windows. You'll have plastic there, but it's going to be recessed. And I thought what I would do instead is I'm going to take my dark blue. I got to double check, because I believe this area here all the way down is the lighter blue, and then this last little bit of rim here is the gray. I'm going to do these in dark blue and then mask them and just treat them like panels like you see on the refit. It may not be screen accurate. I don't care. It's my model. That's the way I'm going to do it. But I just think I'm going to like that better than drilling out those windows. I just don't think I'm going to like the way they look. And I really didn't want to go through trouble of filling that in. I just thought it would it'd be another decent throwback to the refit. I don't know if the Enterprise B was like that too, but you guys that have done the refit know what I mean. There's smaller panels that are a different color than the hull. I think they're a gray or something on the refit, but I'm going to do these in the darker blue, because I believe this is be the lighter blue here, and I think that'll give a little bit of contrast and just a little extra detail there that I can throw in there. So anyway, that's what my plan is. What I'm going to do now is go out here. I'm going to throw my darker blue on, and we'll come back and take a look at putting the masks on once we get that darker blue on. So hang tight. All right, guys. So I got that darker blue painted on and applied the masks. And they went on pretty easy. I found the easiest way to do that first ring, which is labeled as A, is to do the notch first and then kind of work it the rest of the way around. It'll overlap a little bit here. So I did that one. And I came in and put these smaller masks over, and I'm not quite sure yet why these are left open, but basically all you do is just come in with some masking tape. I got a little bit here, it already tore off, and you just cover over those. So don't know why those are left open. I guess to aid in maybe painting the facial strips later. We'll take a look and see here in a little bit. But at any rate, got that first coat on, got the masks applied. This pinstripe can be a pain in the butt. The best thing I found was to cut it. I actually cut it about right here, and then that lets you put this part on that has this little angle to it, and then you can put the curve piece in. And again, it'll overlap in the front here, so you don't have to worry about shorting it. So just cut it right here, and then that lets you do it in two parts, both sides. So this is already one side, this is already one piece. Cut it here, and then it'll make it a little easier to apply that piece. So I got the pinstripe all in place, and then these masks are in place. So the next step is to put on what's in the instructions labeled as the medium color, but typically what that means is basically it's your lighter blue, because your light color is going to be the fog gray. So I'm going to mix up some of this lighter blue, and we'll get that sprayed on, and we'll come back and take a look. All right, guys, so the lighter blue is done, and came back and I put on the last masks that need to be put on. Now we're going to do some more masks into the BC deck and to the bridge. There's a couple things I need to talk about that aren't in the instructions here. They're a little more detailed looking at the pictures. So I'm going to, I've got this masked off, and I'm ready to put the lighter color fog gray that I'm using here around the edge, and then on this pattern inside the pinstripe here.
So give me a couple minutes. I'm going to go put that on, and we'll come back, and all these masks will be pulled off, and we'll see where we're at.
All right, guys, so here she is. I put on that lighter gray color, and once that dried, removed all the masks, and this is what we've got. Now, what you see here is we're not done. We've got to do the B, C deck, and the bridge. Now, I'm going to digress a little bit from Lou's instructions here on the Aztec dummy set. The way the instructions read on this is it says the C deck is your medium color. Your medium color would be the lighter blue. But after looking at some of the studio model pictures, that's not correct. This the C deck, which is the larger deck, should be a dark blue. It should be the darker blue. And what you do have, though, looking at the studio model, and I'll show some pictures so you can see this. You do have a pinstripe that is light gray that runs around here. And so you can see I've masked that off with my Tamiya masking tape here. And so there's a little pinstripe that goes around the edge where the windows are on the C deck. It goes from the shuttle bay all the way around. So I've masked that off. And what you can see with this is I cut up some of that extra ring we have here. And I've used that. It worked out real well for masking off the front curved edge and the back curved edge of the C deck. So I've got that pinstripe masked off. The other thing is the directions call for you to paint the B deck the lighter color, which would be your light gray or the fog gray as I'm using. And that's not correct either, because if you look at the photos of the studio model, this is actually the lighter blue, and then your bridge is the lighter gray color. So, and actually in some of the studio photos, it looks white, but it's the lighter gray. It's just the way the light is. You look at it in some, you can tell it's the same color as the ring, the outer ring, and the this area inside your pinstripe around the C deck as well. So, C deck should be dark blue with the lighter gray pinstripe. B deck should be the lighter blue, and your bridge should be the light gray. Now you also know there's in that picture that around the bridge on the top of the B deck is a, I don't know, I guess you call it kind of a pinstripe, but it's there's a pattern there that needs to be left on there. So what my plan is, as you can see, I've already masked this all off. I'm going to paint that darker blue. I've got my dark blue paint here ready to go. And I'm going to paint the whole deck, B, C deck, everything blue. And then what we'll do is we will mask off the C deck and mask off that shape. I'll have to make a little mask for that, I guess. And I've got an idea of how to do that out of the scraps here. But we'll have to make a template for that little shape that's on the top of the B deck behind the bridge there. It actually comes up in circles around the front of the bridge, and then it splits off in the back there. It runs down to the base of the B deck where the, I guess the rec windows, officers' lounge windows, whatever they are on the back here. So we'll mask that off and then come back and paint the lighter blue, and then we'll mask off around the bridge and paint that the lighter gray. So that's my plan of attack on this. So what I've got right now is the darker blue mixed up, so I'm going to go spray that on, and we will come back. So here we go. I've got that darker blue on. And then I went and I've masked off around the BC deck using almost the rest of the ring, the extra ring we had here. So that's all masked off. All I got to do is do a little bit more masking here to help protect the edges. I'm almost out of masking tape. Gotta get some more masking tape. Oh my God, my cat is worrisome. All right, so we got the rest of this masked off, and you can see I've done that pattern as best I could, mimicked it, what I noticed was looking at the pictures of the Enterprise C model. On the Yamaguchi, these two lines kind of are wider out here and thin out towards the back, and they run parallel to each other down all the way down to the base of the B deck. When I look at the Enterprise C model, though, it looks like these are thinner lines, and they end in kind of a square in the back here, just above the officer's lounge. So that's what I've done with this. And then you've got this little square here too in the middle. So hopefully this is pretty thin. So hopefully when I go to paint this, I might do some very light layers to seal around this. So hopefully I don't get too much, if any, paint bleed in some of these areas. There's a couple little humps these got to go over too. That it's hard to get the tape to contour to. So we'll see. Anyway, this part around the bridge dome here, what I did was I remembered that William Barton over there on the Star Trek Modelers group on Facebook recommended this, and I got one a while back, and I haven't really been using it, and this was a perfect time to use it. I forget what this thing's called. I don't know if it's called a compass or what it's called, but it lets you do some pretty nice circles. So basically what I did was I measured out what I needed as far as to cut it. I did the cut. I did a couple of little ones. You can see they didn't quite turn out right. This one turned out pretty decent. It's not 100% even all the way around, but I think it's close enough that it'll be good. But anyway, these come in really handy for doing circles like that. So it's the first use I've gotten out of this, and I've had it for about 7 or 8 months now, I think. So thank you, William Barton, for recommending that. So got some use out of that finally. But anyway, so I've got this all taped off. So the next thing to do is to go and put on our lighter blue. So I'm going to do that, and we will come back and take a look. So got that light coat on, and went ahead and masked off now the bridge area that gets the gray. And what I did was I basically, that mask I cut out using the compass. I left that in place because it's nice and smooth and round and fits nicely, contours nicely around the bridge, I'm trying to say. And so all I did was mask off a little bit more, and I didn't have to be exact as to how that masking fit around the bridge. So now I'm ready to take this out, put that coat of fog gray on, and once I do that, we'll come back and take a look. All right, guys, so I got that coat of white, or not white, but fog gray on the dome here, on the bridge dome, and that's it. Everything's done, so now it's time to pull these masks off, and let's take a look at what we got here. Time for the big reveal. Get this big one off here. That's the fun part, is trying to pull these decals up without nicking the paint job. like that turned out pretty well. I have to do a little touch-up right in here. I didn't have that pinstripe mask exactly where the pinstripe is on the hull. So I'm going to have to come back and do a little touch-up there. But not too bad. Let's see how this turned out. All right. Well, so far so good. All right, that looks good. Last part is to pull off this pinstripe I did on here. Let's see how that turned out. Oh, that looks like it turned out pretty good. Let's get this last piece off here. Oh yeah, that turned out nice. I think that looks pretty good. So there we go, guys. It's all done. I think it turned out really nice. I'm really happy with it. Still got some more details to do. Got to do this back section here. I think these grills get painted white and these get painted like a dark gray or maybe a medium gray. Got to do the phaser banks yet, so got some detail painting to do yet, but that's it as far as that kit from Aztec Dummy. That's a nice set that Lou put together. Like I said, it's a nice set Lou put together. I just I disagree with the way that. Oh wait, we do have one more decal to pull. One more mask to pull out. I almost forgot about my pinstripe. Almost forgot about the pinstripe. See if I can get up under this without messing anything up. There we go. Hello. Oh yeah, that turned out good. That turned out nice. You got that pinstripe all the way around the C deck there. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. But yeah, guys, I like it. Turned out really nice. It's gonna look good. Next thing to do, got to do the bottom part now. Got more windows to drill, and then I still got to come back and fill all these in. And I'm going to be doing that over Christmas break here. I'm not going to have a video out for at least not Christmas weekend. I don't know if I'll get one out New Year's or not. We'll see. But I'm going to be working on that during Christmas break, kind of filling in these windows, getting them light blocked like I was talking about. And hopefully when we come back after that break, I'll have this all done and detailed up, and hopefully have the bottom saucer ready to go to start looking at that and painting that. Not as much to do on the bottom as far as I know. I think this top, originally I thought it was going to have a lot of work, but there's actually a lot of detail work to do on this. So, but it turned out really nice. And then of course we still got all the lifeboats to do, all that stuff. So anyway, that's it, guys, as far as that part. We're done with that. Next time we come back, we should be working on the bottom section. I do want to say I did get in the parts from Cass, so we can start on the nacelles as soon as we're ready to work on those. But we'll talk more about these then. He did send me in the Yamaguchi variant and the original Enterprise C variant. So we'll take a look at those when we come back, when we start working on the nacelles. So anyway, guys, that's it. I think this episode, I'm not sure how long it's running, but it feels like it's running pretty long. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, thank you guys for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And lets me know, you guys are watching these videos and hopefully getting some use out of them. Again, if you don't feel like subscribing, at least please hit that thumbs up button if you find something useful in this video. But I appreciate everybody. Thank you again. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if I don't see you before then. But until next time, keep modeling.